Hello, welcome to another Anki video. I want to keep this one as short as possible and just get to the information, because today I'm going to show you how to become a bit more of a power user for Anki by getting used to keyboard shortcuts and setting up gestures on your mobile device. This video is actually the same video 3 times, but showing the 3 different platforms. On screen now, you can see the timestamps of each point where I talk about the different platforms. I'll start with desktop, then talk about Android and then iOS. Skip to the one that's most relevant to you since they're all going to contain the same information. During this video, I'm going to be using the new and improved Korean 1K deck that we just released. And I'll be using the Spanish version since that's the one that I have downloaded. All these tricks will work for any deck, however, since they're just an Anki thing. If you're interested in getting one of our high quality Anki decks, head over to refold.la/decks to see what we have available. And without further ado, Anki on the desktop is much easier to study if you use a keyboard instead of your mouse. Thankfully, learning just a few things makes the entire experience a whole lot more streamlined. The first recommendation is to install the Pass-Fail add-on. This just removes the easy and hard options when you're studying, since they're not really that useful. If you don't already have this add-on, click on Tools, Add-ons, and then Get Add-ons. Then type in this number or copy it from the description below. 8769461123. Hit OK and restart Anki. Now, all the hotkeys on the desktop are already configured. You just have to figure out what they are. If any of the ones that I mentioned in this video don't work, check the More button to see what the actual hotkey is for your device. For studying, you can use space to show the back of the card, and then use the numbers 1 and 2 to tell it how you did. 1 is fail and 2 is pass. If you didn't install the Pass-Fail add-on, 1 is again and 3 is good. You can remember which one is which based on the order of the buttons below. You can also just press space to say pass or good no matter what. When I'm studying, I pretty much only press space except for when I need to fail a card. The other useful keys to know are the @ sign, which for me is Shift plus 2, and that suspends a card. Suspending a card is basically the same as deleting. Suspend cards that you don't actually want to study or words that you know super well that are just a waste of time to learn again. Another great key is R, which replays the audio on a card. And finally, the E key will open the specific card in the editor so that you can quickly make changes to the entire card. If you sentence mine, or just like changing cards, and you come across something, press E to open the editor, make some changes, then hit escape, and you're done. That's all for the desktop portion of this video. If you want to see more about becoming an Anki super duper power user, check out this video that I made all about getting even more customized. Next up, we have the Anki Droid app. For this app, there isn't much that we want to do, but there are a few changes that I think make a big difference. First, let's change the buttons on the top. Go into the menu, Settings, and then Reviewing. Then tap App Bar Buttons. I prefer to disable everything except for Edit and Suspend, which I set to always show. All the extra options will be available if you tap the 3 dots in the top right. Go back one screen to Reviewing, and I'd recommend disabling Show ETA. This is just a bit distracting, and knowing the numbers doesn't help with anything. Now, let's go back once more, and then into Gestures. Enable Gestures, and then change Swipe Left to answer 1, and Swipe Right to answer 3. This makes the game of studying a bit more fun. Oh, and make sure that double touch is Show Answer. Those are all the settings. Let's look at how to use them when we're studying. So first, you should be able to double tap the screen to show the back of the card, and then swipe left or right depending on if you got it wrong or not. Left is again, so moving your finger in the direction of the red button, and right is good, towards the green button. Right is right. The little pause icon is Suspend, which is basically the same as delete. It gets rid of the card forever. Use this for cards you don't actually want to study or words that you know super well that would be a waste of time to learn again. And finally, the pencil is for editing. Quick editing is great if you ever want to make a small change to a card for whatever reason. I do this all the time with my own cards that I've mined. If I see a weird definition or sentence choice, it becomes super easy to tap Edit and make a change. And that's all there is to Anki Droid. Feel free to mess around with the other options if you see something else interesting, but this setup should be great for 99% of people. And finally, there's the iOS app. For this app, there isn't a tell me what to change, but just a few little things can greatly improve the experience. Let's go to the settings up in the corner, then go into Review. First, tap on Top Bar, and I like to remove everything that I don't use. So I get rid of Add and Browse and I turn them to Off. I do like to keep Dex, Edit, and Suspend card, however. And don't worry, all the other options will still be available just behind a little gear icon. Now, let's go back and look at the bottom bar. Here, turn off next times. These aren't very useful. Or you can turn off the entire bottom bar if you want and only use swipes, which we'll set up now. Go back and into swipes. Change swipe left to answer again and swipe right to answer good. And those are all the settings. Let's look at how to study with this new setup. When we're studying, tap the screen to show the back of the card, then swipe left or right depending on if you got it right or not. Left is again, you got the card wrong, and right is good, you got it right. Right is right. Up in the top, Sus-C is suspend, which is basically the same as delete. It gets rid of the card forever. Use this for cards you don't actually want to study or for words that you know super well and would be a waste of time to learn again. And finally, edit is great if you ever want to make a small change to a card for whatever reason. I do this all the time with my own cards that I've mined. If I see a weird definition or sentence choice, it becomes super easy just to tap edit, make a little change, and done. And that's how to set up the iOS app to be a little more easy to use. Feel free to play around with more settings, but this setup is more than enough for 99% of people. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Leave a comment below if you have any ideas of things that you'd like to see me make. And if you like the look of this Anki deck, please consider checking out refold.la/decks for more information on how you can get one for yourself. Good luck with your Anki journey and happy immersing!